Good afternoon, and welcome to AIADA's AutoTalk. I'm your host, Rachel Soleimani. Just a reminder that anyone that is registered for today's program will be receiving a copy by early next week. And if you have any questions, you can enter them into the Q&A bar at the bottom right hand of your screen. Now, please join me in welcoming Jim Roche, founder and CEO at WarrCloud. Jim, I know you have a lot to get to today, so I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Rachel. It's nice to be with you and, of course, the AIADA audience. It's always a pleasure. I was recently speaking with some industry people at an event last week, and someone had commented that it seems like there's been more change in automotive in the last couple of years than in the preceding 25 years. And I'm guessing most of the audience would agree with that. We've seen a lot of change in the industry. We're happy to provide our perspective on some of these changes. Why don't we just jump right in? First of all, just a level set on where we are. This data you're looking at provided by our friends at the Presidio Group and NCM. This is for Q1 of 2026. We've continued to see margin compression creeping into the variable side of the business. New vehicle gross down over 11%, used vehicle gross down over 11%, and net profit across the dealership down 11% as well. Interestingly, fixed operations now generates almost 54% of total dealership gross, with F&I adding about 22% in addition to that. So once again, fixed ops way out in front, carrying more than 50% of total dealership gross. As you know, there are two primary revenue streams when it makes up service: customer pay or CP and warranty. And what you're looking at is the amazing trend line there on the left for warranty growth over the last little while. If you look at starting in 2021, that incredible rise in warranty revenue, it is really just remarkable. The 3-year growth in warranty has been over 41%, almost 14% per year average. And WarrCloud is projecting an additional almost 12% growth through 2027. Now, I mean, that is by far the fastest growing revenue stream in fixed ops, and it's still pulling away. And, you know, if you're a dealer or a service leader, I'm sure you find some comfort in knowing that you've got that built-in revenue stream that's going to continue growing. You contrast that against customer pay growth, and customer pay, while still growing, is decelerating. You can see that we saw a peak there in terms of CP growth in 2021, but it's been falling off steadily since then. And this is a chart that compares the growth rate between warranty over the last 2 years versus customer pay. Again, 2-year growth in warranty, almost 34%. 2-year growth in customer pay, just a little over 9%. This means that warranty growth is outpacing customer pay by over 360%, which again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just find that utterly amazing. And that's a great thing in some ways, but it is still just remarkable that warranty is really, growth has really accelerated that way. There's a couple of reasons for this growth in warranty. One obvious, one maybe less obvious. The obvious one is that we're still selling millions more new vehicles, and this means millions more warranty-covered vehicles on the road. Not surprisingly, that will drive up warranty growth. The other is that as we put more electronics in vehicles, and again, the chart you're looking at here is EVs, what we see is that warranty has about a 300% higher expense in year one than a comparable internal combustion engine. And we believe this is due just to the increasing amount of technology that is embedded in the vehicles as we progress down this path to autonomy. The latest figures show that there are somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 chips in a vehicle. That's coupled to between 100 and 200 sensors, and 50 to 100 ECUs, think computers, inside the inside the vehicle. So these things combined, and there are a whole bunch of other minor reasons, but these two things combined are what is really driving that incredible growth in warranty. Um, and just as a reminder, this is just some of the complexity we see today in today's vehicles. ADS, certainly connectivity. As we see more and more telemetry streaming out of the vehicle. ADAS, and on and on. The incredible technical complexity is only second to the expense of technology. We're really moving from think analog vehicles to more digital. And with that technology comes more expense when something breaks, which is what is driving that higher warranty revenue. However, there are some hidden costs here. When we talk about revenue, that's top line. The cost of processing warranty claims, and when I say process, what I mean is to take that RO that the service technician is now finished and get it in a state where you can deliver it to the manufacturer and they will do their review and then they will reimburse the dealership for doing the warranty work. The current state of warranty processing is that the cost of processing consumes somewhere between 14 to 16% of the gross from that work. It just depends on the brand. Each claim can take on average between 16 to 22 minutes. And this is because really there's no automation in-house. And in case you're wondering, it was you that told us that. We went out and we talked to dealers in 2020 and again in 2023 using formal market research. And what dealers told us, if you look there in the one chart at the bottom, that the mean time to do a warranty claim had increased from 11 minutes to almost 22 minutes in that 3-year period. And again, this comes back to just the incredible variation and complexity of those vehicles. And that looking at the top, the percent of revenue that was claiming had risen from 6.1% to 7.8%. For the purposes of this analysis, we've assumed that gross is roughly 15%, which is how you get to an over 50%, 15% bite out of the gross. Additionally, one of the challenges that we're facing, warranty work has in essence been done the same way for the last 80 years. It's been done by human beings at the dealership. But what we're seeing is that the human beings that have historically done this work are on the decline. They're retiring or they are leaving automotive. And the younger generation isn't really stepping into those roles. I suppose not a surprise, that the younger generation doesn't want to sit at a green screen and push warranty around. But you can see what's happening here. We're seeing an increasing demand for warranty claims processing at the same time that we're seeing a decline in the labor force. This creates a scalability problem for the most rapidly increasing revenue stream in the dealer service department, which should be a real concern. Um, sort of summarizing that, warranty is the fastest growing opportunity in fixed operations. CP, we're seeing declining service visits and longer maintenance intervals. This being driven by, the increasing mix of EV and hybrid work. Whereas on the warranty side, there's more technology, of course, increasing recall volume. According to our friends at Busy Cars Q1 report, 12 million vehicles were recalled in Q1 alone. And the repairs related to this technology are just increasingly complex. As I said, warranty is growing significantly faster than customer pay. So let's just delve into that opportunity and how we should be thinking about it. It's the second largest receivable in the dealership. Yet for decades, it's been treated kind of like a sleepy back office function. And we really need to do, I think, recast our thinking of this, particularly now that we have this intersection of what's happening with warranty revenue and the complexities around warranty processing and the introduction of AI technology to the dealers. As I said, manual warranty processing has become more demanding than ever. Just a couple of little examples. that we have pulled from warranty. Being able to identify little opportunities and the differences around them, make sure that your claim gets paid at its maximum legitimately, and that it's processed as quickly as possible. I don't know how many of you know that the cost of grease and one-way screws can be claimed at $6 a vehicle, and that adds up over time. Headliner recalls, additional materials you can get for $5 per claim. And although it's not on the slide, I was recently told that if you're a Ford dealer, you can claim up to 2 shuttle buses per month at $3,600 per shuttle bus. It's a total of $7,200 per month, $84,000 per year if you know to claim it. So there are little opportunities and big opportunities if you know where to claim. Finally, just another concerning thing, this from a Wrenchway survey done last year, that one of the largest reasons of technician dissatisfaction has to do with doing warranty work. Now, techs don't mind, doing any kind of work, but what they really mind is making sure that they get paid properly. And if you are not analyzing and processing your warranty claims right, you're underpaying your techs. And that's where that source of dissatisfaction comes in. So yet another reason to make sure that you are legitimately getting every dollar that you're entitled to from your warranty work, and that keeping your technicians happy, as obviously technician retention is a critical element for a healthy service department. So, considering these things, I mean, customer pay has been the dominant revenue stream in service forever, and it still is, but it is not growing nearly as fast as warranty. And one of the things that we advocate is that you have a shift in your thinking about how you're managing your service department. How do you manage warranty claims processing? How do you market your service department? Where are your priorities? Let's delve into that just a little bit more. Let's think about shifting from being reactive to taking a more disciplined approach. As I mentioned, the future of your warranty operations, in the past it was manual, a little bit reactive, viewed as an administrative function. I think going forward, what we need to be doing is embracing technology, both in terms of making sure that we are processing every claim properly, um, and that we have a measured and a financial approach to this so that we're optimizing this increasing revenue stream. So the key drivers behind this are number one, claim accuracy, two, time to submission, documentation quality, which really goes to compliance and as well as ensuring that you're getting your revenue as much as possible. And schedule management. And when I say schedule management, what we're talking about there is your accounting schedule, your receivables related to warranty. Um, and you really need to treat warranty as a process that needs to be optimized. I think before, warranty has been viewed as sort of something that is maybe a necessary evil, something that we just expected. It was already, always there. And in those cases, you're treated as paperwork. But we need to come back to looking at financial discipline to make sure that we are taking an automated and measured approach. So, and one of the things around that, when we say measured and treating it as a financial approach, is you really need to have a disciplined process, a disciplined financial process around how you're tracking money. One of the things that's really important, I see survey after survey after survey that talk about that dealers are looking for operational efficiencies. The business is getting harder and harder. And, business people tend to look for, the Hail Mary or the silver bullet that's going to come in and optimize things. But in my experience, what you're really looking for are you have to pay attention, you have to wrap your arms around, pay attention, and manage many, many details. And when you are optimizing the circumstances around those many details, that's where you begin to pick up those operational efficiencies. And that's where you really start to see both your revenue and your profitability uptick. It's not an easy thing to do. It requires a significant amount of process discipline. But when you do that, you can take a business that is very difficult to manage and you're fine tuning and optimizing it. So, three things that are constraining warranty profitability today. One, lack of visibility. It goes back to some politicians said way back when the unknown unknowns. If you miss claiming a warranty an hour here or a $25 administrative fee there, you have no idea that you missed that. That's an unknown unknown. And you don't know what you're leaving on the table. Um, you know, Additionally, coming back to schedules, most dealerships can't see what claims are pending, what's aging, or what's at risk of rejection. So this is revenue that's sitting in a limbo state. The second is inconsistent execution. Warranty complains on a number claims depend on a number of things. The three C's: accurate text story. The coding has to be accurate. You've got to have all of the documentation, and not just the RO. Keep in mind, there's a significant amount of supplemental documentation that the OEMs now want to see in order to be compliant. You got to have process discipline around this. And the problem is that claim quality varies by person and by day, and this leads to rework or rejections. Rework and rejections both add up to delays in getting your money back, which has a cash flow impact. And the third is manual processing. Claims in most are still reviewed, coded, and submitted by hand. Um, and this means that your fastest growing revenue stream in fixed ops is being managed by a process that has not changed in decades. This results in slower reimbursements and higher costs because it takes longer to process a claim. Remember at the market research we looked at a few minutes ago, and the human beings working at the dealership are always making more money. Every year they get a raise, every year the cost of benefits go up. That results in higher costs. Warranty revenue is rarely lost because the work wasn't done. It's lost because somewhere the process breaks down. So I guess you asked the question, do you know what's sitting on your warranty schedule right now? The schedule is the dealership's second largest receivable, and every open claim is money that's already earned but not yet collected. In other words, that is a stack of uncashed checks that are sitting there. Pending claims, these are ROs that are awaiting some form of processing, documentation, coding, submission. That's delayed cash coming in the door. Aged claims that have been submitted but they're not resolved for some reason. Whether it's OEM requests, they want more documentation, they want your rental car receipts, they want a battery test slip. Um, you know, if they age out too far, that's a rejected claim. You can't get reimbursed. Plus, you're not going to be compliant with the OEM scores. How quickly did you submit? How accurately did you submit? And this results in at-risk revenue. Did you miss an allowance? If you incorrectly coded something and you missed 3/10 here, 4/10 there, that's reduced revenue, and that goes back to what I mentioned a few minutes ago. That's also dissatisfied technicians. So you want to be really careful about that. You know, there's plenty of warranty opportunity. What is missing is the process discipline to make sure that you're managing what is sitting on your schedule. So, talking a little bit about warranty schedule management, our best practice dealers, they have full visibility into work in process and they're looking at it in summarized daily, weekly, monthly. Got to identify aging and at-risk claims early. Obviously, the first thing you want to have is you want to have as many claims as possible go in and be accepted the first time. But those that are not accepted the first time, or are laying around and not getting processed, you need to get them into the system and moving quickly. Ensure your documentation is complete before submission. Submit claims within 24 hours of RO close. And move your OEM dashboard scores from red to green to blue. This is going back to OEM compliance. And the way that you can do this is to embrace as much automation as possible in the process. Again, relying on the same human being who's been doing this the same way for 20 years, yet the volume of both of ROs and the dollar value of claims has gone up incredibly in the last 2 years. That's getting backed up at the human being level. So embrace automation as much as you can. This gets us faster reimbursements, better claim scores, obviously improved cash flow, and more dollars, warranty dollars coming in the door. Talk just a quick second about AI, because we tend to think of AI as a technology, but AI can also drive a disciplined financial approach. Without automation, again, we're still doing things that are manual. And what creeps in through manual processes are errors, whether it's inconsistent coding, you miss an allowance, delayed submission, and then it ages out. Um, with AI, which you can get, number one, and maybe most importantly, keeping track of every dollar, every penny, is full visibility into your accounting schedule, not just under one rooftop, but if you got more than one rooftop, enterprise wide. Automated documentation review, real time OEM compliance checks, faster submissions means better cash flow, and all of this can stem from a clean, actively managed schedule. Um, AI doesn't just process claims quicker, of course it does, but all of that can result in a aggregation that enforces discipline across your warranty operation. So, talk a little bit about AI, but we're not going to start there. We think that the best combination is to use something called RPA coupled to AI. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going acronym happy here. So let's talk about what RPA is. RPA is robotic process automation. It's not AI. It's a relatively new technology. It's essentially it's software that emulates human beings interacting with your systems. Again, it is not AI. The key difference between AI, artificial intelligence, and RPA, robotic process automation, is AI performs tasks that require intelligence. Think of it as mimicking human thinking, while RPA automates routine manual tasks related to moving data around. So it's a great combination to take AI, which essentially does the brain work, and RPA, which does the finger work, the data entry. Combine RPA and AI to create a fully autonomous, intelligent process automation. And we call this at WarrCloud, we call this smart sourcing, versus traditional outsourcing, which is typically thought of as temp agencies, people doing things, which again, people typically means higher cost, manual, slower than machines. Smart sourcing is with machines. I think that's AI plus people, which means faster, accurate, lower cost. What we've seen in our business is when you smart source warranty processing, a typical dealership will see an additional 103 hours per month in terms of labor hours generated. That's more revenue, more profit, better customer satisfaction because if your team in the service department isn't chasing warranty ROs around or other scraps of paper, if they're not involved in that inward looking process, they have more time to spend with the guest experience, which can drive up your customer satisfaction. And again, also drive up your technician satisfaction, which helps with technician retention. So our prediction here, and this is just one little slice of where we think the future is going. Today, we're a bit reactive. Something breaks, customer calls. AI is going to drive more of a predictive future, where vehicle alerts you proactively on something. AI identifies service needs, can automatically schedule an appointment, particularly for a warranty claim, and automated at the point of repair. Um, Vehicles will increasingly tell the dealership what they need before the customer even notices. And I know for some of us, we can't wait to get to that that future state. Um, the average dealer results, bringing it back around. So we think of the improvements in a warranty operation as having four dimensions. One is related to revenue. Two is related to the expense or the cost of processing claims. Three is in cash flow. How quickly am I getting my money? And four is in compliance. Typical results we see is about a 15% increase in warranty revenue in year one, the cost of processing claims reduced by more than 50%, the claims processed within 24 hours, which improves cash flow, and improving OEM scores, particularly around first-time success. How long did it take to submit? How long did it take to close the RO? So again, those four realms: revenue, cost, cash flow, and compliance. Talk a little bit about just a quick case study. This is for Autobahn at Fort Worth. Some of the challenges they had there, that is a multi-brand dealer group. And of course, when you have multiple brands in one enterprise, that means you have a lot of different OEM warranty rules. You'll have a lot of manual submission processes, trying to manage different people, because keep in mind, the skill set that was processes a Mercedes claim is completely different that processes a BMW claim, completely different from what processes an Audi claims. And what they were seeing is that their manual submission processes were backing up. They were seeing more warranty receivable aging. And it's hard to scale a warranty operation just by adding more people. Number one, people are expensive, and two, they're getting harder and harder to find. So the solution that they sought was through WarrCloud. We started with the Porsche store and then expanded enterprise-wide. And essentially, this is an AI-driven warranty automation, coupled to warranty experts where the automation can't figure something out. What we're looking for is clean current warranty schedules and making sure that we scale that across their brands, not just their existing brands, but everybody is looking to grow. So any new rooftops, any new brands that they add through acquisition. The results that Autobahn of Fort Worth enjoyed: 50% increased time to warranty submit, a 46 reduction in outstanding claims, and a 26% increase in average hours per RO. So what we've got here is additional revenue, significant, and fantastic help both in cash flow and in compliance. So three of the four dimensions we've previously discussed, which is fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So some recommendations, best practices for stronger warranty performance. Service leaders, review your work in process ROs weekly and monthly. Close open items as quickly as possible, because that improves your OEM dashboard scores. Remember, you want to get them from red to green and then from green to blue. Record and describe the 3Cs on every RO. And what we mean by this is don't abbreviate, don't go with single word descriptions. I know it takes a little while longer, but making sure that you have full and complete descriptions for every C, the complaint, the cause, and the correction, helps, number one, process your warranty claims more accurately, and two, is a real good safeguard against future audits and, God forbid, chargebacks. Another best practice: attach recall reports to every RO. This is something that most OEMs require. It's considered a best practice. It's critical for compliance and reimbursement. As I mentioned before, Ford allows up to $3,200 per month per bus at a maximum of 2. Most dealers aren't even aware of this. Again, this is in the Ford and Lincoln realm. Ensure full documentation for mobile service. Mobile service is getting more and more out there. But the problem is that sometimes the technicians we use or the processes we use in the mobile vans inhibits complete documentation, a proper RO write-up. Again, you're at significant audit risk if you don't have proper documentation. So ensure that whoever is doing your mobile service has both the equipment and the training to do a proper write-up. You got to start with those 3Cs. And finally, when you have special order parts, SOPs, a lot of people leave the RO open. That is not considered a best practice. The best thing to do is close the RO when you've got an SOP, special order part, and reopen the RO when the parts arrive. This improves your metrics and close metrics significantly. So 3 takeaways from today's session. 1, warranty is the fastest growing receivable in service. Most dealers are leaving some money on the table. Manual processing, the way that we've processed warranty claims for the last 80 years, cannot keep up with the volume complexity or the speed that warranty demands. And takeaway 3, keep in mind that we advocate automating through use of AI, but that doesn't replace your team. It gives your team back time to do higher value work, be focused on the guest experience, which of course improves CSI and ultimately service retention. A little self promo there. That's me, since you can't see me. We've been fortunate enough to receive many accolades regarding our AI and automation implementations. And that's the end of our slides. Hopefully that wasn't too long. If there are any questions, we'll pause here and see if the audience has any questions for us.
Jim, we had a question come in. Let me find it here. What are some best practices for managing schedules?
Sure, thank you. Well, I'll make it specific to WarrCloud. So what we do to help enable this, obviously we talk about it a lot, is we prepare a weekly reconciliation and post for the dealership's JVs. We provide detail by subcategories. For example, was it an open review with an OEM? Are there credit adjustments that need to be made? Is there some other dealer retention that's needed? Does it need a battery test slip, a rental car signature, something like that? Um, Schedule hygiene, from our perspective, as working a backlog when we initially onboard a store, and then making sure that we catch up that backlog and then we keep you current with your active schedule management. We work closely with the dealer to manage and keep the schedule clean. We also provide dashboards. For those who want to not only have rooftop access, but across the enterprise so that you can see the journey of the RO and dollars down to including every single claim. We have invested in systems and processes, that allow us, both the finance department, your controller, your CFO, to have a clear view to the proper disposition of every claim. Sorry, that was a lengthy answer, but it's an important topic.
It is. And thank you for that. And thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're a busy guy these days, but we always loved having you on.
Thank you. It's always a joy. Thanks.
Again, you'll all be receiving a copy of this presentation and recording by early next week. To those on the line, join us back here on Thursday, June 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern as Cox senior economist Charlie Chesbrough returns for his quarterly market update. So be on the lookout for promotions. To learn more about AIADA, visit aiada.org. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.